Good evening. Welcome, everyone. I'm Bill Maley, Brighton Town Supervisor. Thank you all for coming out during the holidays, if you're here in person or taking time away to watch us on our live stream. Tonight is the December 13th, 2023 meeting of the Brighton Town Board. I'm Bill Maley, your Town Supervisor. In just a minute, we will be getting to the open forum portion of the meeting. Of course, the open forum is the opportunity for members of the public to share their comments with the town board, ask questions. If you're watching us on YouTube or on our cable access channel, you'll have to log into Zoom if you want to participate in the meeting in the open forum, or for that matter, in the public hearing a little bit later on. There are instructions, if you're not already zoomed out, there are instructions as to how to log into Zoom and connect to our meeting on the Town of Brighton webpage, www.townofbrighton.org. We also continue to make our meetings accessible to the deaf and hard of hearing community tonight, as is usually the case, and we're so glad to have you, meeting after meeting. It really makes a difference. Allie and Heather, our ASL interpreters. Tonight's agenda and all of the supporting documents that we'll be relying on in taking any action tonight. If you're here in the room, they're on the back table. If you're watching remotely, you can find them on the town's webpage. I'll ask, if you're able to please rise and join in the pledge. I'll ask Councilmember Warner to lead us, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. December is National Impaired Driving Prevention Month. During the holidays, sometimes holiday cheer includes one too many holiday beers. And if that happens, before it happens, make sure you've got a plan to get home. If you have guests, make sure that they have a plan to get home or that they can safely drive. Obviously, designated drivers are a good alternative, but Lyft, Uber, of course, again, same thing. Just make sure, get through the holidays safely. I do have a proclamation and I will read it. Whereas thousands of lives are needlessly lost each year on our nation's roadways because of drunk and drugged driving, leaving grief-stricken families and hurting communities in the wake of needless tragedies. Whereas driving while impaired by any substance, legal or illegal, is dangerous, and alcohol, illicit drugs, and even over-the-counter and prescription medications can impair a driver's judgment, decrease motor coordination, and slow the reaction time necessary to safely operate a motor vehicle. Whereas December is National Impaired Driving Prevention Month, because traffic fatalities increase significantly during this month, painfully underscoring the need to talk about the danger of driving impaired and ways to prevent it. Whereas the Brighton Police Department works in partnership with Monroe County's Stop DWI program to provide increased police details to get impaired drivers off the road, improving safety for all drivers. And whereas during National Impaired Driving Prevention Month, we reaffirm our commitment to preventing impaired driving, and we remember the victims of impaired drivers and honor their memory by making the responsible decision to drive sober and ensure that others do the same. Now therefore be it proclaimed that I, Brighton Town Supervisor William Maley, and the members of our Town Council do hereby declare December as Impaired Driving Prevention Month in the town of Brighton and remind everyone to stay safe, sober, and focused on the road. And this proclamation is signed this 13th day of December, 2023, by myself and by the members of the Brighton Town Board. Two weeks ago, we opened the Brighton Farmers Market, the new winter farmers market building, that is, in Buckland Park on Westfall Road. Among the many benefits of the Brighton Farmers Market are the fact that it supports local residents, some in Brighton, others in other communities, who are producers, growers, and through the SNAP program, the Farmers Market provides nutritional support for traditionally underserved members of the community. A number of you were at the opening and you saw Congressmember Joe Morelli present this proclamation, Certificate of Special Congressional Recognition, to be precise, as part of that opening ceremony. Congressman Morelli really started the ball rolling in terms of funding this project when he was majority leader in the New York State Assembly. We appreciate his help. We also appreciate the help of Senator Jeremy Cooney and Assembly Member Sarah Clark, who have continued to provide state support to make sure this project was completed. And I'm going to read this proclamation, or again, rather, Certificate of Special Congressional Recognition. It is the practice of this member of the U.S. House of Representatives to take note of and publicly acknowledge those exemplary organizations whose purposeful mission and distinguished services have been committed to making meaningful and impactful contributions to the people of New York's 25th District. Attendant to such concern and in full accord with its longstanding traditions, this member of the House of Representatives, and of course that's Member Joe Morelli, is justly proud to recognize and honor the Brighton Winter Farmers Market on their ribbon cutting. Now therefore I, Representative Joseph D. Morelli, do hereby honor the Brighton Winter Farmers Market on their ribbon cutting. I celebrate their contributions to the people of New York's 25th District and recognize the work they continue to do. And this certificate will be hanging in the Winter Farmers Market. I would note you got one more Sunday in 2023 to visit the market, this coming Sunday from 10 to 1. It will not be operating either Christmas Eve or New Year's Eve, but it'll be back in service January 7th, 2024, again from 10 until 1, and every Sunday thereafter through April 7th. Now we'll begin our open forum, which we hold at the beginning of every town board meeting. The open forum is an opportunity for members of the public to address the board concerning any matter relating to the town, whether or not it's an item on our agenda this evening. If you're here in person and would like to speak during the open forum, simply raise your hand and we'll recognize you. If you are participating in the meeting remotely and would like to speak during the open forum, again, you must join the meeting on Zoom, following those directions that we talked about a little while ago. You'll be admitted from the Zoom waiting room by the host to speak if you use the Zoom raised hand function. As we always do, I ask all speakers during the open forum, whether in person or remote, to please state your name and address. Please limit your remarks to 3 minutes, and I'll give you a 30-second warning before your time expires. If you have questions, we may not be able to answer them this evening, particularly if your question relates to a matter that's not on the agenda this evening. But our goal here tonight and during the open forum that we hold at every town board meeting is to give you the opportunity to share your thoughts with the board and for us to be able to listen to your words. Now, I would note, if you're here to speak to the public hearing, we have one public hearing tonight concerning the proposed Topgolf incentive zoning project. If you'd like your comments on the record of that matter, I would encourage you to wait until we call that public hearing. But if you do have words for us in the open forum, that's great. Please direct your remarks to the town board and not to other members of the audience or other speakers. Please refrain from personal attacks and from outbursts of any kind during the open forum, out of respect for the speakers and out of respect for everyone here tonight and their time. So I now declare the open forum to be open. Is there anyone that would like to address the town board during the open forum? I see no one here in the room, and it appears there is no one on Zoom that is looking.
That is correct.
Thank you. We're having some technical issues. Thanks. Chris, go ahead.
That being the case, I move to approve the agenda.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, Dan, please call the roll.
Councilmember DePonzio.
Aye.
Councilmember Werner.
Aye.
Councilmember Wilt.
Aye.
Councilmember Corrado.
Aye.
Supervisor Mealy.
Aye. As I mentioned a moment ago, we do have one public hearing tonight. Oh, I'm sorry, we didn't approve the minutes, did we? Do we have minutes?
No,
I didn't
we
think so.
don't
Yeah.
approve minutes.
No, you're right. Sorry, let me go back
Agenda.
then.
We did the agenda.
The agenda we did do, yeah. Tonight we have one public hearing. That's the continuation of the hearing on the incentive zoning proposal that has been made for a Topgolf sports and entertainment facility that is proposed to be located near the corner of East Henrietta Road and Westfall Road. I anticipate, again, holding this public hearing open following tonight's meeting. I'm going to ask that we actually table it until our first meeting in January, which I believe, our first regular meeting, not the organizational meeting, but our first regular meeting, which I think is January 10th.
That is correct.
So we'll hold the hearing tonight, and then the next hearing we will hold on this matter will be on January 10th. Again, you can participate remotely using Zoom. Raise your hand if you'd like to speak on Zoom. But in any event, I declare this public hearing to be open. It was previously published. Is there anyone here in the room tonight that would like to address the board during the public hearing? I see no hands raised. Is there anyone who would like to address the board from Zoom? And there are no hands
There
raised?
is not anyone from Zoom.
Thank you. John, would you like, should we have a motion to table until, or to
Yes,
hold it open until?
Yeah, if I may
10th,
recommend
January
a
10th.
motion to continue the public hearing for the proposed incentive zoning rezoning application for Topgolf at East Henrietta Road to January 10th, 2024 at 7 p.m.
Can I have that motion, please?
I move that we hold the public hearing open on this matter until January 10th, 2024.
For the resolution
For the
prepared.
resolution.
Yep. Can I have a second? Thank you. Any discussion? Hearing none, Dan, please call the roll.
Councilmember DePonzio.
Aye.
Councilmember Werner.
Aye.
Councilmember Wilt.
Aye.
Councilmember Corrado.
Aye.
Supervisor Mealy.
Aye. We have two items of communication tonight. Can I have a motion to receive and file those, please? Robin?
So moved.
Or Jason?
Second.
Was that, you seconded?
Yes, I
Robin?
did
Thanks.
second. I'm sorry.
Two letters tonight. One from Becky Cotter, our recreation director. Two donations that were made in memory of a truly beautiful person, in memory of Jeannie Dooney, who passed away recently. Jeannie, I had the great pleasure of presenting a town proclamation to Jeannie, celebrating her 100th birthday some time ago. And she was a joy. She lit up the room. Everybody loved her. And we lost her again a few weeks ago. So this letter asks that we accept donations in her name from Lynn and Richard Gatto and Judy Dell in amounts of $115 and $15 respectively, and I'll ask for a motion on that in just a moment. We also have a communication from Jennifer Cesario, the Monroe County Comptroller, with very positive news about the sales tax distribution for the town. We continue to exceed our projections on sales tax for 2023. That's always good news. We see nothing that makes us think we won't exceed that number for the year as a whole. So can I have well, let's take a vote to receive and file those two. We have that motion. Dan, if you could call the roll.
Councilmember DeFazio?
Aye.
Councilmember Werner?
Aye.
Councilmember Wilt?
Aye.
Councilmember Corrado?
Aye.
Supervisor Mailer?
Aye, and if I could have a motion to accept those donations from Lynn and Richard Gatto and Judy Dell in the amounts of $115 and $15 in Jeannie Dooney's memory, please.
Bill, I move that we accept donations in the amount of $115 and $15 respectively from Lynn and Richard Gatto and Judy Dell in memory of Jean Dooney.
Thank you, and can I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, Dan, please call the roll.
Councilmember DeFazio?
Aye.
Councilmember Werner?
Aye.
Councilmember Wilt?
Aye.
Councilmember Corrado?
Aye.
Supervisor Mailer?
Aye. Committee reports. Community Services, Robin.
Thank you, Bill. The Community Services Committee has not met in the intervening timeframe since our last town board meeting. I do have a few quick updates from our Parks and Recreation Department heads. From our Parks Department, we usually hold it on December 7th, but the annual Veterans Appreciation Luncheon at Brighton Town Park's Carmen Clark Lodge went off without a hitch on December 6th instead. We thank Richard Deb Wagner and the Rochester VA Clinic for always playing an integral role in coordinating the festivities. I was not able to attend on the 6th, but Bill, do you have any comments on?
It was wonderful as always. You know, the veterans that have done so much for this community and in some cases are in real need right now. And we had service providers that were there with some things that are helpful. The Buffalo Soldiers served as our color guard, the Buffalo Soldiers presentation team from the Pennington Moy VFW post. We did have the VA there, and really it's such an honor to be in a room of men and women who have given so much for the country. So it was a great day.
Oh, wonderful. I heard it was
And-
very
and-
well
and
attended.
Deb and Rich Wagner, can't say enough.
Yeah.
Deb worked for the VA. Rich is a former Town of Brighton Parks employee, and they've taken it upon themselves for many, many years to make sure this event happens. So, Rich, Deb, thank you so much.
Kudos to all. And then from our Recreation Department, space is still available in our December recess camp. During the break, we encourage you to get the kiddos out of the house and engaged in fun activities with the Brighton Recreation Department. Full details regarding programming are available at www.townofbrighton.org/rec, REC, or you can call the Recreation Department with any questions you may have at 585-784-5260, extension 0. And as Bill mentioned, our Brighton Winter Farmers Market is indoors at the new Market Barn at 1435 Westfall Road. And there is additional parking available at Buckland Park and the Buckland Farmhouse. And it is open this Sunday, last time for the year, from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. We ask for no early birds, please. But do join us and explore all the wonders of the season. And as Bill mentioned as well, SNAP and EBT benefits are welcome at the Brighton Farmers Market. Also wanted to remind everyone that our Brighton Seniors Lunches Out and About continue to proceed. We can check out our monthly calendar and join us for a lunch out and about in the community. The locations change, but we always have a good time with friends enjoying food and sometimes some lively entertainment. Full details are online, or you can sign up for our monthly newsletter to stay up to date with all of the fun things happening with the Brighton seniors. Our next meeting of the Community Services Committee is next Wednesday, December 20th at 9:30 a.m. or immediately following our Finance and Administrative Services Committee meeting at the Brookside Recreation Center Multipurpose Room. You can access the Recreation Department through the Winton Road entrance, please. And as always, members of the public are invited and encouraged to attend. That's all I have.
Thanks, Robin. Jason, Finance.
Yes, the Finance and Administrative Services Committee met last Wednesday, December 6th. Each of the items discussed in committee appear on tonight's town board agenda. Our next meeting will take place next Wednesday, December 20th. We meet at 8:30 in the morning here in the main auditorium at Town Hall, and the public is invited to attend.
Thank you, Jason. Chris, Public Safety.
Bill, Public Safety met yesterday, and let me give a condensed report here. The residents came in to open forum and brought issues of sidewalks on both Edgewood Avenue and Clover Street to our attention. And we'll be coordinating that request with the Monroe County, which has a new initiative to install sidewalks, and with the state. Also, a resident came in to discuss the condition of water mains along the West Henrietta Road corridor in the context of the New York State Department of Transportation West Henrietta Road improvements. Brighton Ambulance reported on their request for services. They have actually decreased 1.5% overall for the year from the 2022 volume. And this past month, 300 residents received services. Brighton Fire Department reported on working fires on both Clover Street and Ashbourne Road, and also noted that Chief Hiller will be stepping down as chief effective January 1st to be succeeded by Chief Stephen McAdam. DPW indicated that they now have the Night Watch program in effect, and which is active to monitor weather and road conditions, so they're ready for any pending responses. Police Department reported that to the end of November, they've had 46,560 calls, but did particularly note that they've been issuing winter parking warnings. Again, the law in Brighton is that after November 1st, there is no parking on our streets to accommodate our snow plowing efforts from 2:00 a.m. to 7:00 a.m. They've been just sending out warnings, but now we'll begin actually issuing tickets. So please, do not park on the streets. It's the winter, and we need the streets clear so we can have an effective plowing runs. Henrietta Fire Department indicated they had West Brighton calls year-to-date of 888, but noted particularly an uptick in cooking fires and caution folks to try to be careful. Our next meeting will be Tuesday, January 9th, 2024 at 0800 hours.
Thank you very much, Chris. Thanks to our chiefs. We appreciate the service, and we also appreciate that Chief McAdam is stepping back into that role. So our safety agencies, especially this time of year, really go above and beyond.
They really do.
Christine, Public Works.
Public Works met yesterday morning immediately following Public Safety. We had Update on the Town Hall renovation project, reviewing revisions in the geothermal cost estimate to consider wells at half the depth as part of the Town Hall renovation project. The revised well system approach would install 68 wells at 150 feet in lieu of the 34 originally proposed wells at 300 feet. And the cost estimating team has indicated that the revised geothermal approach will add approximately $577,000 to the total project costs. Town staff are putting out requests for quotes for a test well to fully determine the feasibility of a geothermal solution, and estimates for performing the geothermal test wells are $15,000 to $20,000. We had communication from the Monroe County Department of Transportation regarding a crosswalk at Clover Street and Esplanade. After performing a study of the intersection, MCDOT is recommending the installation of a marked crosswalk at the north leg at Esplanade Drive. They've indicated that they'll complete the installation of the crosswalk as their schedule permits, ideally next season. Additionally, MCDOT evaluated the intersection for the consideration of rectangular rapid flashing beacons. It meets the criteria for the town to foot the cost for maintenance at that location, and there is discussion about reviewing the traffic counts to see if the counts will meet the threshold for the county to make the installation. In other county projects, the Brighton Henrietta Town Line Road and Winton Road Preventive Maintenance Project was reviewed. The town has expressed support for the installation of a bicycle network along the BHTL corridor, acknowledging that there are challenges with being able to provide a continuous network there. The county DOT indicated that they are amenable to including the bike lane configuration, and the town of Henrietta is also supportive of the approach. And Supervisor Maley recently discussed the matter with Supervisor Schultz, and it is now in the hands of town staff to finalize it with MCDOT. New York State DOT has extended a shared services agreement to the town, offering the option to enter into an arrangement that would allow mutual assistance between the town and the state DOT during times of need. The mutual assistance could include sharing of materials, equipment, or performing a function on behalf of another entity. And town staff will review the matter with nearby municipalities and evaluate further before making a final decision. The West Henrietta Road Corridor Improvement Project. This project will enhance Route 15 corridor from Jefferson Road to I-390 in Brighton and Henrietta. And the project proposes to address pavement conditions and drainage concerns, provide bicycle and pedestrian accommodations, and upgrade the traffic signal system. In particular, town staff has engaged with the Monroe County Water Authority to request coordination between the authority and the state DOT to address deficiencies in existing water mains along the corridor at the time of the project. In town projects, we had an update on the Chelmsford Road Bridge. At the November meeting of the Public Works Committee, Ravi Engineers provided an update on the design for the culvert replacement. And at this time, Ravi is estimating that the construction costs associated with the replacement will be approximately $800,000 regardless of available roadway configurations, those being bike pedestrian only, one way in, one way out. A potential funding source for the project is recently announced, the recently announced Bridge New York 2023 Culvert Program, and Ravi Engineers are developing an application due January 19th of next year. The committee also had an update on the Complete Streets policy that's in development. It's recommended in the Comprehensive Development Plan and is currently recommended in the Climate Action Plan. Such a policy would recommend that the town consider the safety, convenient access, and mobility of all roadway users of all ages and abilities when developing transportation projects. Town staff is working with the attorney to the town to review resolutions of nearby communities that could serve as good templates for Brighton. Concrete poles for streetlights on Elmwood Avenue were a matter of discussion. A decorative concrete pole on the corner of Elmwood and Commonwealth was recently damaged in a traffic accident. And in the process of seeking a quote to replace the pole, the Highway Department was informed that the pattern used to create the poles was recently damaged, and the supplier is using the remaining mold to service existing customers. The supplier thinks that they can get 2 more poles out of that remaining mold. Such poles cost $2,290 per pole, and delivery to town is an additional $1,250. Town staff will investigate the historical nature of the decorative concrete poles and determine whether replacement units must match the existing poles before ordering replacements, keeping in mind that this may be the last opportunity to get that exact type pole. We reviewed the 2024 meeting schedule and found that the back-to-back Public Safety, Public Works Committee arrangement is satisfactory. With the exception of a possible need to change the April meeting date due to when Eid al-Fitr falls in April of 2024, the schedule will remain as it has been this year, second Tuesday of the month, 9:15, following public safety. And last, the Public Works Committee reviewed many trees. Bear with me as I run down this list. I will note that they are all remove and replace with a few exceptions, which I'll note. 50 Westland Avenue, a 13-inch maple. 182 Palmerston Road, a 32-inch eastern white pine. 68 Greenaway Road, a 20-inch Norway maple. 217 Alamo Drive, 50-inch Norway maple. Commodore Parkway cul-de-sac, there are 2 trees, a 36 Norway spruce and a 15-inch Norway spruce. The recommendation is to remove and not replace. At 245 and 259 Ashburn Road, 48-inch black walnut. 270 Oakdale Drive, a 24-inch Norway maple. 11 Eastland Avenue, a 7-inch Zelkova. Also at 11 Eastland Avenue, a 4-inch golden rain tree. At 42 Greenaway Road, a 10-inch sugar maple, and the recommendation is to remove and replace at an alternate site. 75 Schilling Lane, 17-inch ash tree, remove with no replacement. 101 Westland Avenue, a 22-inch Norway maple. 34 Southland Drive, a 60-inch silver maple. 41 Southland Drive, a 30-inch silver maple. And 246 Mayflower Drive, a 46-inch silver maple. And the next time that the Public Works Committee meets will be January 9th, 2024 at 9:15 or following public safety.
Great, thank you very much, Christine and everybody. We'll move on to new business. Jason, reading and approval of claims.
Yes, earlier this evening, I reviewed claims totaling $2,718,759.82. Notable claims include to the New York State Employees Retirement System in the amount of $1,063,365, representing the annual payment into the New York State Retirement System for town employees. Also to the New York State Police and Fire Retirement System in the amount of $1,171,817, representing annual payment into the New York State Retirement System for police and firefighters. Also to Building Innovation Group in the amount of $139,816.25, representing payment for general contracting services for Phase 3 of the Farmers Market, the Winter's Farmers Market. And finally, to Soccer Shots in the amount of $3,444, representing payment for the equipment and instruction for summer and fall youth soccer programs. The claims all appear to be in order, and I move that they be approved.
Second?
Thank you both. Any discussion on those? Hearing none, Dan, please call the roll.
Councilmember DeFazio?
Aye.
Councilmember Werner?
Aye.
Councilmember Wilt?
Aye.
Councilmember Corrado?
Aye.
Supervisor Mailer?
Aye. Christine?
Yes, the next matter seeks to approve a budget amendment transferring $1,160 from the Department of Public Works full-time wages account to its part-time wages account to fund unanticipated additional hours for the architect. I move that we adopt the resolution as prepared by the attorney to the town.
Second.
This is not the first time we've been in this position. things get very busy for her. She does great work, but Everett, you can speak to this.
Yeah, so our town architect is a part-time position, generally scheduled to work about 22 hours a week. But this year, we've had an extraneous amount of building permits come through that are currently backlogged, and we want to try to get through them. But also, we've switched to a new software system for the department, and that's taken a little bit of time for training and learning, which has delayed the review process a little bit. The software is great for applicants and residents, which can go online and process their applications, but it's a little bit tedious for us on the learning end and the back end. So we're working through it and anticipate the next year will be a lot smoother.
Great. Any discussion? Hearing none, Dan, please call the roll.
Councilmember DeFazio?
Aye.
Councilmember Werner?
Aye.
Councilmember Wilt?
Aye.
Councilmember Corrado?
Aye.
Supervisor Mealy?
Aye. Jason?
Yes, the next matter seeks to authorize the supervisor to enter into an agreement with UR Medicine EAP to provide an employee assistance program for a 2-year term beginning January 1, 2024 through December 31, 2025, in an amount not to exceed $5,300 per annum. I move we adopt the resolution as prepared by the attorney to the town.
Second?
We have contracted with the U of R for a number of years, providing our Employee Assistance Program, or EAP, services. Those are very, very important services and part of really a comprehensive package of benefits for our employees. This does represent an increase of $2 per employee for the 2024 and 2025 years. That's about a 9% increase over the existing rate. Otherwise, the agreement remains as it has been. Any discussion on that agreement? Hearing none, Dan, please call the roll on the motion.
Councilmember DeFazio?
Aye.
Councilmember Werner?
Aye.
Councilmember Wilt?
Aye.
Councilmember Corrado?
Aye.
Supervisor Mealy?
Aye. Christine?
Yes, the next matter seeks to authorize the supervisor to enter into an agreement with Vialytics for their intelligent road management system for a term of 1 year in an amount not to exceed $19,000. I move, I move that we approve the resolution as prepared by the attorney to the town.
Second.
This really, I think, has great potential. Everett, why don't you talk about this?
Yeah, so this request is to purchase this piece of software called Vialytics, which will allow us, the town, to analyze all of the existing local road inventory system through digital and AI sort of based solution. So the device is mounted on a vehicle, one of our vehicles, the roads are driven, and the device takes images every 13 feet, which are then graded automatically by their algorithm and uploaded to the web for review. And essentially, you can do the whole town in a short amount of time. It is an initiative that we've started to look at back in 2021, but we did not have the tool set that this piece of software will provide in terms of efficiency. And so we're pretty excited about it.
Yeah, we had a great discussion at the Public Works Committee about this, exploring whether there were, whether it was usable for sidewalks, for example.
Yep.
The algorithm really isn't designed for sidewalks, it's designed for streets. But, we talk a lot about our 10-10-10, our 30-year paving cycle, where we do a full repaving on a road, and then approximately every 10 years after that, 10 years and then 20 years, we do a chip seal, which is much cheaper than doing a full paving, and it extends the life of the road so that in 30 years we can do a full repaving. But every road's different, and this will help us really refine. Do we need to do it in 30 years, maybe 35 years? Maybe the road's still in good shape that we can stretch it out, or conversely, we'll find that a street is deteriorating quicker than we thought.
Yeah, you bring up a great point, Supervisor, which is that this program will give us context and data to support historical trend lines and the way the roads are degrading, and that's what we're really excited about.
Great. Well, thank you for bringing this to us and looking forward to seeing how it works in practice. Any further discussion? Hearing none. Dan, please call the roll.
Councilmember DeFazio.
Aye.
Councilmember Werner.
Aye.
Councilmember Wilt.
Aye.
Councilmember Corrado.
Aye.
Supervisor Mealy.
Aye. Chris?
Bill, the next item is to establish the establishment, to authorize the establishment of various new traffic control devices in the town. Traffic control devices, also known as traffic lights. These are necessitated by the road diet along Elmwood at various locations. I move that we adopt the resolution before us.
Second.
I'm not sure these are all traffic lights,
It
though.
looks like they're all
No.
signs.
These are either pavement markings or signs that have been installed as part of the road diet implemented along Elmwood Avenue. And due to
These
New
are
York,
simply signs, then.
yeah, a lot of signs and some
Pavement
markings.
markings.
Yeah, yep. And so part of the New York State Vehicle Traffic Law requires a consent by the municipality that's accepting these signs. And so the request is from the county for the town to consent and sign off on the installation of these signs.
Well, my apologies. I spent too much time in town courts defending people for violating, not obeying traffic control devices. Never
Some
got-
of them are
Yeah.
signals,
All
yeah.
right, so not traffic lights, excuse me. But I move that we adopt the resolution before us.
Can I have a second,
And I
please?
second it.
Further discussion? Hearing none. Dan, please call the roll.
Councilmember DeFazio.
Aye.
Councilmember Werner.
Aye.
Councilmember Wilt.
Aye.
Councilmember Corrado.
Aye.
Supervisor Mealy.
Aye. And the last matter of new business, Robin?
Certainly, the next matter seeks to set a public hearing for January 10th, 2024, at 7 p.m. for the removal and replacement of a 32-inch silver maple at 36 Hollywood Avenue and a 50-inch silver maple at 260 Fair Oaks Avenue. I move that we adopt the resolution as prepared by the attorney to the town.
Second.
50 inches.
A silver maple on Fair Oaks. But that is a big tree. That is a big tree. Robin, you made, and Jason, did you second?
I did.
Christine?
Big tree.
Again, this is part of our tree law process. We hold these public hearings. If a tree in the town right-of-way is larger than 30 inches in diameter, and these are one by lot. Any discussion? Dan, please call the roll.
Councilmember DeFazio.
Aye.
Councilmember Werner.
Aye.
Councilmember Wilt.
Aye.
Councilmember Corrado.
Aye.
Supervisor Mealy.
Aye. Matters of the supervisor, again, this was mentioned before, but I'll make the reminder again. Our winter parking restrictions are now in effect. No parking is allowed on any road or street in the town of Brighton between 2 and 7 a.m. overnight. It's important to note that the restriction does apply regardless of the weather. It's a fairly calm night tonight, but the restriction applies. It doesn't just apply when it's snowing. We all know the lake sometimes gives us snow and we don't expect it, so it's a season long from November 1st through April 15th restriction. The police have written warnings, quite a few, but they will be writing tickets as well. As is always the case, I see more people realizing, okay, I can't park the first couple nights. You see them, but more and more, and they get those warnings. People are doing the right thing. But please don't wind up with a ticket. Please don't leave your car out on the street overnight. Thank you again to our ASL interpreters, Heather and Allie. We appreciate the work you do every meeting. Matters of the town attorney. Attorney to the town.
Thank you, Supervisor. I do not have any matters to report, but would request an executive session for two matters. The first being collective negotiations pursuant to Article 14 of the Civil Service Law, and the second being pending litigation. And I would request that motion at the end of the meeting.
Good, thank you. Matters of the clerk.
Nothing this evening.
Thank you. Matters of the town board.
Further.
Okay. Then can I have a motion, as the attorney to the town just requested, a motion to go into executive session to discuss a matter of collective bargaining and a matter of litigation.
So moved.
Second.
Dan, please call the roll on that motion.
Councilmember DePonzio?
Aye.
Councilmember Werner?
Aye.
Councilmember Wilt?
Aye.
Councilmember Corrado?
Aye.
Supervisor Mealy?
I do not anticipate that we will be coming back into public session after that executive session. So best wishes to everybody. Hanukkah is ongoing, so Hanukkah Sameach to everyone who is still celebrating Hanukkah. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Well, we'll be seeing each other before New Year's, but in any event, enjoy the holidays, and we'll see you in 2 weeks. By the way, that meeting on the 27th is at noon, not at our usual 7 p.m. time, noon here in Town Hall. Have a great evening, everybody. Thanks for coming.